I was only in Huntington Beach for like 3.5, 4 years. So when I was 14, my stepdad got transferring his job back to Chicago. So there I was back in Chicago. I cried and stuff. I was so bummed that I couldn't, because surfing was everything. Even then, it still is. Even then, you know, and I just remember being so bummed. All I could do is surf like once a year for like 7 days. I'd go back and visit friends and stuff. And then my mom got divorced to my stepdad and she moved to Chicago. So when I was going to college, I lived with her in the summer and winter time, and I was painting houses up in Evanston, and for lunch I'd go to the lake and check out the lake, and there was waves. I'm like, holy crap, there's waves here, you know? And so one day I went and got my board and I rode some waves at Greenleaf Beach, you know, and I met this guy Tony and Eric and started surfing. That was 1986. I've been surfing on the lake since 1986. I think when you got older, you know, you kind of slow down. I'm more into it now and wanting to charge more now than ever in my life, you know. I'm trying to get more in shape for I can be in shape to be out there longer and do the moves and stuff, you know, so I'm into it.
When I go
boys have already surfed, man. They were this year. I've had them out surfing twice. My buddy Scott in Michigan City's got this big sailboard. Waves were like 2 foot, and I could actually stand them on the board, bring them out, turn them around, and push them into the wave while they were standing up. And they were riding them all the way to the shore on his big sailboard, man, like a 4-inch thick sailboard. And then my 6-year-old's riding boogie boards. Then the next time I took him out, he's actually, I'd push him in the waves, and he's riding boogie boards all the way to the beach, catching waves. So it's pretty cool. They could be real good skateboarders, man. You can skateboard anywhere now, This little guy is fearless, man. The older one, he's gonna be a good waterman. I can tell he just loves the water. And the younger one's like reckless abandon. He's gonna be a good skater. I can just tell, I can tell already. You can tell. I don't want to move anywhere. I love the lakes, There's so much you can do out there, and you can do it all winter long until it freezes, and then it thaws and freezes, and you can do a little more. But I just like the no crowds, no hassles, the newness of it. There's spots you can be where there's nobody. I love that lake. If I lived on Lake Superior, I'd love that too. But I love Lake Michigan, man. I just love it. It's I don't know. It's right now in my life, at this point in my life, I just love that. Just being there more than anything, almost besides my kids,
Chase you around again. Tie me up, tie me up, tie me up again. I'll chase you around, I'll chase you around again. Up again. I'll chase you around, I'll chase you around again. Tie me up, tie me up, tie me up again. I'll chase you around, I'll chase you around again.
So Santa Cruz was incredible, but I don't know, something didn't quite feel right, for me. It's like my family and friends were back here in the Midwest. So that's what I did. I moved back here. For me, it's a double-edged sword. As a business owner, as a guy who owns a Great Lakes surf shop, we want it to continue to grow. Obviously, that means we stay healthy as a business. I don't, ever plan to turn into some kind of Ron Johns or something like that. I just want, a core surf shop. We might expand a little bit, and we're always, just trying to dial things in, make it better. I don't need it to grow a lot. I just want to, live the type of life that I'm hoping to have for my family. I want to keep people stoked on surfing here. There's definitely something about watching other people get into surfing, because I remember what it was like for me. I know what it has done for my life. So I don't want to be one of these selfish guys saying, I don't want other people doing it. I don't want to share, waves with other people. I just don't think that's healthy, It doesn't matter what gets you there. It's just that feeling, you know what I mean? And that's why we all surf. So whether it's riding a body surfing, riding a body board, a pipo, a belly board, a stand-up surfboard, a knee board, an air mat, I don't give a crap what it is anymore. After surfing for 13 years, I'm realizing that, hey man, I just want that feeling. And if that means I have to keep, mixing my equipment up, trying different things, this board, I'm not quite getting the same feeling from it anymore, so I move on to this board and whoa, there it is again, I've got that feeling. I don't see that changing for me ever. Surfing the Great Lakes, it's way tougher, because we really have to work to get waves. You can't just go down to the beach, next Saturday and go surfing. It's not that simple. We have to work hard to find waves. We have to work even harder to find good waves. We have to surf when it's cold, because that's when our best surf season is, typically. Fall, winter, and spring. In essence, the colder the weather, the better the surfing, or the more consistent the waves are. And if you really want to get as much good surf as possible, you have to travel. If you don't, you're limited to, those times when your local spots get good. The Great Lakes is so big, geographically. There's still so many waves out there, even as we speak, that breaking that nobody is surfing, So we might have to go a little further afield to find those waves, but whatever, man, that's just part of it, and it's something I've always enjoyed anyways.
I was born in Ukraine. It's by Black Sea, and we get waves there too. And I used to go to the beach all the time and just body surf and just hang out in the water all the time, and I loved it. I've seen pictures of people surfing. I was like, oh, it's in America. Can't wait to go. And one day I did. My buddy told me you can surf on the lakes. I never even knew about it. And he brought a surfboard from California one day. It was like 5 years ago. And it was October. It was a 9.6 surfboard, and I had a 3.2. And the water was probably like, I don't know, it was cold. It was cold outside, and I put on a 3.2, and I had no gloves or booties and hat, and I got in, and I caught like 2 waves and got out because my feet went numb. That was the first time I went to try to surf on the lakes. Water is what puts my mind to ease, but at the same time it gets me going and gives me energy. I feel more in tune after I surf, and I love it. It's just nothing to describe it. It's just the best feeling ever. I've skateboarded since I was a little kid in Russia, Ukraine, Sevastopol. I can go and skate, especially in the summer. I can skate every day and incorporate surfing into skateboarding and just skate in a little bit of different way, just to kind of pretend that I'm surfing. Every time I skate now, it's pretty much just surfing for me just hurts more sometimes.
Man, you know what? I'm 42 years old, and I still tell people I feel like I'm 20 years old. You know, I think I eat fairly well. I'm active. I have a pretty good life. So I feel like I can still learn so much from surfing. I feel like I can still progress. I'm a phys ed teacher, so obviously I believe in fitness. So I do a lot of running, I do a lot of swimming and lifting and any type of physical activities. If I'm not with my family and I'm not surfing and soccer, then I'm definitely doing some type of fitness. Moving out to the ocean really isn't top priority. I have found that, man, if you can really figure out the lake and the wind and the swell direction and contour of the beaches, you can find some unbelievable days. I've had some days here, and I would never say it's better than the ocean, because I love the ocean, but there's some days that are fantastic. A couple years ago, I hurt my back, actually surfing out in water that was probably 33 degrees, and it didn't stretch, and I ended up having a mild herniated disc, and that set me back for a couple years, and at that point I thought, you know what, this could be it. Eventually, I was able to come back, and from this point on, I still feel young. I still feel like I can do quite a bit of stuff in the water, so I'm still going. I still feel pretty good.
Sitting here looking back again, like I do every now and again.